Gender-based violence is not just a theoretical concept. It is a reality for billions of people around the world, on every continent and in every country. It has real-life implications and hurts individuals, limiting their right to life, autonomy over their own bodies, to physical and mental health, dignity, personal development, and self-realization. It is embedded in our communities and it hurts from the inside. It is not a neutral issue that we should just know about. It is a human rights violation which needs to be addressed and stopped. This is why learning about gender-based violence is learning for change. We don't just do it so we can transfer information, definitions, and statistics. We do it because we want to challenge attitudes, behaviors, and norms that cause and perpetuate violence. We want to shape a society where no one suffers because of their gender. That is why we expect that education against gender-based violence is not just limited to the learning room, but has a wider impact. In its core, education against gender-based violence is human rights education, one that has a specific topic in mind. And if we turn to one of the most important education resources of human rights education, the Manual for Human Rights Education with Young People Compass, developed by the Council of Europe, we will see that action has always been incorporated in this educational paradigm. There is a whole chapter in Compass dedicated to taking action. So let's use it and plan our educational processes in a way that they encourage action, even if it seems small. Now, don't get scared. Action doesn't necessarily mean taking the streets and overthrowing the patriarchy, although we definitely need more people marching in demonstrations. Action can take many forms on both personal and collective level, and we'll explore many of them in this module. Before we do that, we need to, however, find within ourselves our true motivation to ask for change. Take me, for example. If you would have met me some 10 years ago, as ashamed as I am about it, I would be telling you that I don't see gender inequality and I don't see the need for specific education against gender-based violence. And this is very common for cisgender men to think, even if gay, because of our male privilege. It took me a while to develop sensitivity on the issue, to listen to the stories of women suffering gender-based violence and to connect the dots between gender-based violence and other types of oppression which cut through our societies and lead to suffering and exclusion. And yet, I truly became an activist when we got attacked. In the winter of 2017-2018, Bulgaria was supposed to ratify the Council of Europe Convention on Preventing and Combating Violence against Women and Domestic Violence, more commonly known as the Istanbul Convention. This is an important international document which offers comprehensive measures to tackle gender-based violence and which we have already mentioned earlier in the course. The convention got attacked by conservative and evangelical groups, claiming that it will open the door for same-sex marriage, it will impact procedures for accepting refugees, and that society will not be able to differentiate between men and women. This narrative was embraced by the nationalist junior partner in the governing coalition, and through media and social media the issue turned into a moral panic. In the process, the president, the Orthodox Church, governing and opposition parties all came out with positions against the ratification, usually with baseless but homophobic and transphobic arguments. Street actions for and against the ratification took place, although poorly attended, because the main conversation was happening in media and social media. Under the pressure of public opinion, the government announced they will postpone the ratification, and members of the parliament took the issue to the Constitutional Court. On July 27, 2018, the Constitutional Court announced that the conversation introduces concepts which are unclear, referring to gender, and is thus in breach with the principle of rule of law. The panic around gender did not stop there. The word has become a trigger and is currently used as an insult, while the non-scientific term gender ideology was taken from the depths of conspiracy theories narrative and normalized in official language, in constitutional court decisions and statements of ministers. And Bulgaria is not an isolated case. The ghost of gender ideology and the political backlash against it can be found in Croatia, Slovakia, Hungary, Brazil, Costa Rica, and many more. It often links to xenophobic and racist narratives and constitutes a part of an overall populist conservative movement across the globe. In this narrative, the idea that women can break oppressive traditional roles is being demonized, and attempts to roll back on women's rights, LGBTI rights, human rights in general have been made. In Poland, for example, where access to abortion is anyway very limited, legislation changes have been proposed to fully ban it. The changes did not go through, partly because of tens of thousands of brave Polish women who took the streets to protest. In a nutshell, because of action. Seeing all this, I cannot stand idle and wait for the next oppressive move. In this new political climate, and as a part of a scapegoated group myself, I feel less and less safe and have lost the optimism that we are inevitably moving to more equal and just society. Right now, it seems we might actually be moving backwards, unless, well, we take action. And it doesn't have to be a large-scale political action. It can be supporting a friend who suffers gender-based violence, or sharing your own experience, publicly or with friends. Because personal is also political. And these actions, which might seem small, are actually how we create the social infrastructure for large-scale change. So, here's my reason. What are yours? Do you feel threatened by certain changes in your community? Have you experienced gender-based violence yourself? Have you seen the impact of gender-based violence on women around you, maybe in your family? Or do you feel empathy for women who are trapped in personal and professional relationships marked by violence? Do you show solidarity with the girls whose potential will never be fully developed because they are thought to think of themselves as less than? Take a piece of paper and write it down. Write down your reasons. Be honest about it and be brave about it. I will wait here in silence for 1 minute until you do that. No, I'm not kidding. Take a piece of paper and I will wait. Remember, be honest about it, and it's important. I wait. I have time. Great! Now keep this paper somewhere visible so it can remind you why you want to act against gender-based violence, and do it.